putting in work. Work, yeah. Putting in work. I thank God for the favor when the money come. Half for the time, tax fees, and sufficient funds. What I gotta do to get ahead. I'm on the song. What I gotta do to get.
Welcome to the Modern Sports Show, home of your college athlete. We're player-led and player-focused. Tonight, guys, it's currently 10:57, July 24th. And we are in Amelia Gorgas Library. I think I'm saying that right. But tonight, man, we just going to talk some ball. Last week, right, we spoke about why I'm so excited about this upcoming football season. Well, tonight we're going to kind of talk about, like, why I'm so excited. But also, we're going to talk about a few big games that we got coming up this year. I know we kind of touched on it a couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago at this point, at the time of this video dropping. But yeah, tonight we're going to look into some scenarios. I have my producer with me this evening behind the screen. So very, very valuable mind joining me this evening. And we just going to talk some ball. So without further ado, let's kind of visit some of these scenarios, bro.
There are a lot of good quarterbacks backing up some very good quarterbacks that's already starting this upcoming football season. For example, Ty Simpson, we've seen what he can do behind Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, we have.
We've seen Arch Manning, what he can do even after the big, whatever he just went through with the NIL and not getting to the NCAA game. But I think that one quarterback that's really going to open a lot of people's eyes is Nico Iamaleava. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. And coming out of high school, man, he was a former 5-star quarterback, more than likely going to be a shot caller for the Vols this season. I think he has a very high ceiling if he's utilized correctly, maybe a possible Heisman finalist. So what do you think about that? What do you think about those? Do you think he's going to be that quarterback this season or not, given that it's going to be his first time starting for a Power 5 football team?
Right. Now, a Heisman finalist, that's a very big, I don't know, bro. Heisman finalist is kind of, I don't know how I feel about that. I'll put it like this, right? As far as his intangibles, or not intangibles, but tangibles, I feel like, of course, his frame, very massive, 6'5".
For
sure. Definitely see the arm power, definitely see the athleticism. I definitely think that he's going to be productive. Now, what he looks like from an offensive standpoint and what he has on the perimeters, I know he got Squirrel White. Squirrel has shown that, he can be that scatty type of receiver, make you miss an open field and kind of create some big plays for him, even down the field with his speed. That's Birmingham native.
Okay, cool.
Shout
out 205.
Exactly. Brew McCoy, I know he had a season-ending injury last year. And so him coming back this season, kind of interested to see, like, what he can really do. Because I'll go back even to the 2022 season. I know he was kind of, he was kind of like, he showed some moments. He had some moments. So, like, this year, him coming back, I'm not really sure what else they got at the receiving position. And I'm also not quite sure what they got returning offensively on the offensive line. So, Nico Iamaleava. I've been trying to practice.
I know it.
But I do feel like he's I think he's going to have a great season. This being his first true season, I think he showed some promising plays in the bowl game last year against Iowa and stuff. So I think he definitely has the potential. Heisman finalist, I got to see that.
I agree.
I got to see a Heisman finalist.
I can definitely agree with you on that. And speaking of his team, just in 2022, wasn't long ago, they came off an 11-2 season with some pretty big wins. I know a lot of people in Tuscaloosa won't like me saying that, but beat Alabama and can't think of the other team that they beat that season.
I can't either. I know towards the end of that year, though, they lost some They lost to Georgia game. They lost South Carolina, I think.
There we go.
They lost a couple.
But it was looking pretty good with Tennessee, man. And then only to follow up with 9-4 record the next season. Granted, still bowl eligible, but coming off of 11-2 to 9-4, kind of a decline. So looking at it, just this season, how are we thinking that they're going to pan out as a football team? Do they go up? Do they decline, or do they go ahead and keep going?
I don't know. I feel like Tennessee as a whole, I don't expect much from them this year. And to all my volunteer fans, this is by no means a shot, right? Because I could be very wrong. But I think they're, especially with this conference expansion, I believe they're going to be a mid-tier SEC team, right? I don't necessarily see them at the bottom of the conference, but I also don't see them competing to win the league, if that makes sense. So if I had to sum it up and say record, what I could see them record-wise,
start there.
I would say 8-4, because they actually, let's pull up their schedule real quick. I don't see them. Yeah, let's see. We got NC State. First game. Excuse me, not first game, but yeah, UT Chattanooga first game of the season.
Should be a win.
Kent State
should be another.
Now
win.
they get a bye. No, they don't. Yeah, so UT Chattanooga, NC State. That's gonna be an interesting game. ACC SEC matchup. Let's see, Oklahoma, I don't quite know because I'm kind of shaky on Oklahoma. I see them getting a couple of wins to start the season off. I feel like they can definitely get a couple of wins, and their schedule is manageable. If I'm being quite frank, toughest games I'm looking at right now, Alabama and Georgia. That was the toughest games. Like those two games where I'm like, okay, they might not make it out. I think everything else is a toss up. So. Yeah.
Sounds good. Speaking of SEC teams, I've been hearing about a lot of people being high up on Missouri's board. What is it about Missouri? I haven't really done too much research on them, after Matty Mock days, man. So what's really going on with Missouri's upcoming season?
So Missouri, I feel like Missouri is a sleeper team. My biggest belief in Missouri is they bring a lot of production back, especially offensively. And when you got that type of cohesion and like, okay, you like Brady Cook, you know what Luther Burden wants, know what Theo Wees wants. Mookie, I think Mookie Betts is one, you know what I'm saying? He was kind of like a third wide receiver 3. And so like they have, and then especially with the way they ended last season, you end the season beating Ohio State in the bowl game. Bro, that's like for a Missouri in a New Year's Six bowl game. So that brings a lot of promise, I think, especially going into the next season, especially bringing in new guys who aren't familiar with the program. It's kind of like, man, we was 11-2 last year. Like, bro, the next step is college football playoffs and competing for a national championship.
Especially since it's now expanded to 12 teams.
Exactly.
Like
if you have the same season that you had last year, you get in the playoffs.
You're in the playoffs.
You're in the playoffs, especially losing the way that you did to Georgia on the road, like making them work to win that game.
Exactly.
So Missouri, now I think they got some question marks defensively. I'm not quite sure what they bring or what they return, but I know typically in years of the past, that has been their weaker. That has been the weaker of the two, or the weaker of the three when it comes to special teams, offense and defense. But Missouri, man, if they play any bit like they played last season, bro, and we talking about Heisman finalists, if Brady Cook, if he can build on what he did last year, he can very well be in that topic, as well as Luther Burden. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. And
be up for more than just was it the Jim Thorpe or whatever the Biletnikoff.
That's correct.
And so, yeah, bro, that's why I'm big on Missouri, especially offensively. We don't know what they're gonna do defensively, especially with them not necessarily being an East and West division team.
Correct.
like you just playing SEC ball now.
That's
So
it. Right.
certain things may get exposed, but for the most part, like I said, I believe their offensive production is second to none when they return.
Good. I got you. Well, I noticed what you said that was a sleeper team for you.
Yeah.
So now I guess I'll ask, what is a overhyped team for you going into this season? Like, you know,
Overhyped?
a lot of people are on that, you know, kind of similar to Colorado last year, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's on that wave. What would you say is a team that you kind of just sitting back like, hey, man, let's just see when August 31st comes. Let's see how this is really finna play out.
In the SEC or just college football?
In college football, period.
In general,
Michigan. Couple teams.
Michigan. Oh my God, Michigan.
Okay.
I don't say that with any hate or with any malice, but I feel like Michigan lost so much, and it's actually pretty funny to me to see the amount of people that don't think that they're about to have a big dip. Especially with the way that they play football, right? Mm-hmm. They are very blue collar, very ground and pound, very hard nosed, hard workers. And so I don't quite feel like they'll be able to sustain the production that they did last year because of all the pieces they lost, right? They lost Blake Corum, they lost J.J. McCarthy. Mm-hmm. Not that he was any type of all-star quarterback. He's a game manager. Like, let's get that out the way. And I think that's showing now that he's in the league with the Minnesota Vikings. And Kevin O'Connell has already stated that he's going to be a backup quarterback behind Sam Darnold going into training camp. So even with him going 10, you know what I'm saying, in the draft, I think he was 9 or 10, something like that. But aside from that, Michigan is one that is, I don't know, bro. They schedule is too tough.
Very tough.
They lost way too much. I really feel like they're building from ground zero, and I don't think they have what it takes to be successful in this new Big Ten format. You know.
Okay. Let's see. You know, it's kind of a hard question to kind of throw out because, you know, these coaches, man, they've done a lot, you know, and to be thrown in certain positions, it kind of makes you want to question it, but at the same time, man, these guys have been doing this. However, you know, it's just been announced, like, I think last week, Nick Saban was going to have his name attached to Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Yeah.
That, in your opinion, do you feel that brings any type of pressure to Kalen DeBoer? Like, this is my first season. Yeah. There's a lot going on around me, man. Right. And you know, Nick Saban got his own little spot in the stadium. Now, how does he, in your mind, focus on just coaching how he coaches and letting the outside noise be the outside noise and bringing another championship to Tuscaloosa?
So I feel like Kalen DeBoer, based on the stuff that I've seen, I think he's very composed. I think he's very relaxed. I think he's very confident, and I know these two words don't necessarily go together, but passively assertive in his stance that, okay, although my predecessor is Nick Saban, I'm my own man and I'm building my own product at this university. And so I don't really feel like, I'm not really getting any vibes from him that he is nervous or anxious about heading into the season. Now I say that take that for all my Alabama fans who that might have just made you jump. Take that with a grain of salt, because I don't think that just because that's the case, that translates to success on the field this season. And, you know, that doesn't translate to success on the field. I still feel like you can have both. He can be very calm, relaxed, confident in what he's going to do, but may not get the outcome that so many Alabama fans are so accustomed to having. And so, does that answer the question?
It does for the most part. It answers the question for the most part.
Okay. But very honorable moment for Coach Nick Saban to be attacked. Like, you know, man, that was amazing. When I heard the news, I definitely was like, wow, you know, that's great. He's very deserving of that. Nick Saban, they got to get used to saying that. Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Yeah, that's going to take some getting used to. Absolutely. That's going to take a lot of getting used to.
But tonight, this was just some small talk. I would love to hear what you all have to think about each one of these topics and ideas, because it's so much happening this day and age in college football. But we just want to continue to bring a raw format. This is just one of many. Go ahead.
Before we kind of wrap it up, I kind of just want to do a little rivalry type of thing. Alabama versus Auburn. There are two wide receivers that I cannot wait to see get thrown into that fire on a Saturday, man. That is Cam Coleman at Auburn, and you got Ryan Williams at Alabama.
Yes, sir.
Whew. Both players are very good, if I must say so myself. But which one do you just feel has that, like,
a higher ceiling?
There it is. He's going to be that one. Like, not to take anything from any other player, he's going to be that one. I see it in him. He's going to be that receiver.
Okay, if I'm being completely honest, I have yet to, like, really sit down and digest what both can do on the field, okay? If I'm going off of hype alone.
Or would a comparison kind of help you maybe? Because I see a little bit of a Julio Jones type in Cam Coleman, and you see more of a Devontae Smith or just a quicker, shiftier in Ryan Williams.
Right. I was going to say, going just based off of like the hype and stuff that I've been kind of getting from the media, right, without watching tape or anything like that. I'm more excited to see this Cam Coleman cat. I'm more excited to see him because I've heard his coaches kind of hold him in high regard. And I also think, I'm glad you asked me that question, I also believe that Auburn, I'm very excited to see what this Auburn offense is going to do in this upcoming season. Auburn, for me, similar to Mississippi State, kind of always have a consistent defense. You know what you're going to get out of them. But as far as the offense goes, that's the part you're kind of left questioning.
Right. And
with the things with the pieces that Auburn have been able to acquire, Hugh Freeze being there for a couple seasons now, having an off season, your own recruits and stuff like that, I'm interested to see now how it all comes together in year 2 for Hugh Freeze?
I want to say 2.
Yeah,
it's got to be 2 because Harsin, he was, I want to say
so
2.
year 2 for Freeze, and I don't want to get too far in the Auburn. Maybe we say that for another episode, but I'm ready. Cam Coleman, to answer your question, ready to see what that young cat does.
I agree, but at the same time, somebody has to get the ball to these guys, so
exactly.
Just gotta wait and see, man.
Exactly.
It's a lot that's finna happen this football season. I know, unlike us, or there are plenty of people that cannot wait till this thing gets. Man, I'm ready. I'm ready, man. I can't wait.
And I'm sure you watching already too. And so, guys, with that being said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Again, comment on what do you think Michigan looks like this season. How do you think Tennessee fares in the SEC? Missouri, how do you think they fare as well? So be sure, comment. Let's get some dialogue. Let's get some discussion going. And until next time, peace.